All right, welcome to another deep dive. This time, we're going to be taking a look at the Sala Daeng neighborhood in Bangkok. As always, we're going to be doing like a quick rundown. This is like a little taste teaser of what you can find in Sala Daeng if you want to get away from the usual tourist spots.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't want to just like do all the things that everybody does when they go to Bangkok. Sometimes you kind of want to branch out a little
You want to see the city
and see the city.
like a local.
Experience it like somebody who actually lives there.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're going to be doing today. And of course, before we go any further, huge shout out to the House of Pot, our sponsor for this deep dive, premier cannabis dispensary in Bangkok.
Yeah.
If you're looking for top shelf cannabis products,
Yeah.
make sure you check out the House of Pot.
Go to the experts.
Go to the experts.
Right.
You can find them at 491/22
All right.
Salem Plaza,
All right.
Salem Road, Salem, Bang Rak, Bangkok. If you want to remember all that, it's also in the show notes. So there you go.
Don't worry about it.
Easy.
But yeah, so Sala Daeng, great neighborhood. So what do we know?
Well, I mean, just from kind of glancing through the source material here,
Yeah.
it seems like it's a really kind of cool blend of like the old and the new.
Right.
Which I feel like is what Bangkok is all about. It's like this modern like city that's exploding,
Right.
with like skyscrapers and all this stuff, but there's this real sense of history and culture there.
Right.
And that seems to be really reflected in Sala Daeng.
And we've got this source here that kind of walks us through the neighborhood, uses this the face shop as a sort of anchor point. We're not really talking about the face shop itself, but it's like our starting point.
Right.
And then they describe all this cool stuff around it.
I love it. I think that's such a good way to like navigate a place.
Yeah.
Like, all right, find this one landmark and then branch out from there.
Yeah.
Makes it easy. Yeah. Okay, so one of the first things that they mentioned, like super close to the face shop, only 15 meters away,
Wow.
is this little restaurant. There's no like specific name for it, but they say they serve authentic Thai cuisine.
Okay.
Not, your typical pad Thai and spring rolls. They're talking about things like gang kea wan gai,
Yeah, that's
which is
delicious. I've never had that. Yeah.
a green curry, but it's made with like all these herbs and spices that they say you don't find in
Yeah, but in the tourist trap.
in the tourist traps.
Yeah.
So I mean, that sounds like just right off the bat you're having a real
Right.
authentic experience.
I feel like that's one of the most like rewarding parts of traveling is like tasting that real like authentic food.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't know, it's almost like stepping back in time a little bit, like you're tasting flavors that have probably been passed down like through generations. And it's a way to really like connect with the culture on a deeper level.
Yeah.
It's not just like, the superficial tourist stuff. It's,
Right.
You're really getting into the heart of the culture.
Of food culture, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then like you're imagining, you've just had this incredible meal at this restaurant.
Yeah.
You step back out.
Ah.
You walk just a little bit further, like 18 meters.
Okay.
And there's this like little bench
Oh, wow.
that our source points out.
A little quiet place to just chill,
Yeah.
digest.
Yeah, like right in the middle of all this energy, all this activity.
Yeah.
There's this like little haven where you can just sit and watch the city go by.
It's interesting that they highlight a bench,
Yeah,
It's
no.
not like, a big monument or something.
Yeah.
It's a bench. But I think there's something to be said for like finding those quiet little spots in a city
Yeah.
where you can just take it all in.
Yeah, yeah. Have you ever been to a place and you felt like you've really seen it? Like not just like passed through it as a tourist, but really like observed and
Yeah.
taken it all in.
Absolutely.
Like I feel like that's the kind of feeling that bench might evoke.
I think it's those moments like where you're not necessarily rushing to the next attraction or taking photos or whatever,
Right.
but you're just sitting there and observing.
Yeah.
That's where you like really start to notice the details.
Right.
The little things
Yeah.
that make a place unique.
Yeah.
And those are the memories that I think really stick with you.
Yeah, for sure. And, the source actually mentions the best time to experience this area is November to February.
Okay.
So you imagine yourself, right? It's like a cool, crisp evening. You're on that bench,
Yeah.
just watching the city go by. It's like
It's like the perfect temperature.
perfect temperature.
To just be out and about.
Yeah. And, I'm sure there's all sorts of interesting things happening around.
Yeah. And you know what else is happening during that time?
Yeah.
November to February. That's when some of Thailand's most amazing festivals take place.
Oh, right.
Like Loy Krathong, you know what that is.
I've heard of it. Remind me.
Okay, so Loy Krathong is this beautiful festival where like thousands of these like little illuminated lanterns
Oh,
are
wow.
released into the sky. And they're made from like banana leaves and candles and stuff.
Wow.
And they just float up.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And it's just like this magical, like glowing spectacle.
Wow.
So imagine seeing that from that peaceful bench.
That's incredible.
That would be an incredible experience.
Yeah. Suddenly I'm like, I need to go book a trip right now.
Immediately.
Yeah. Well, before we get too carried away, quick reminder that this deep dive is brought to you by the House of Pot. Once again, if you're in Bangkok, you need the best cannabis products.
Yeah.
Head over to 491/22 Siloam Plaza, Siloam Road, Siloam Bang Rak, Bangkok. Or, as always, just check the show notes for the address.
Super easy.
But yeah, I mean, so it's like this small area
Yeah.
really highlights, I think, what's so special about Bangkok.
I agree. Yeah. This little glimpse that we've gotten into Sala Daeng, it just like shows you that there's so much more to the city than like the typical tourist attractions.
Right. It's like, on the one hand, you have this amazing, like, authentic food experience. Then you have this quiet little bench
Yeah.
where you can just observe and contemplate.
Take a step back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have these incredible cultural events like Loy Krathong happening all around you.
And it's all in one little area.
Yeah.
Like imagine that.
It's like a microcosm almost of Bangkok.
Bangkok. The whole city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this has been just a little taste of Sala Daeng.
A little teaser.
If you want to go even deeper, explore even more, we do have the address of the face shop in the show notes. So, you can use that as your starting point.
That's your anchor. Go from there.
Yeah. Who knows what other hidden
Yeah.
gems you might uncover.
Yeah. That's the exciting part. You never know what you're going to find when you're exploring a city.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And before we wrap up, I just want to leave you with a little thought.
Okay.
So imagine you're sitting on that bench that we were talking about.
Okay.
What are some of the details
Mm.
that you might notice? Like, what are the sounds that you're hearing?
Yeah.
What are the smells? What are the sights? And then thinking about the people walking by. What kind of stories could you create about them?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Where are they going? Where have they been?
Yeah.
Like, really let your imagination run wild.
Use your imagination.
Yeah.
That's what travel is all about, right?
Exactly. All right. Well, that's it for our deep dive into Sala Daeng.
That was awesome.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
And, once again, huge thanks to the House of Pot for sponsoring this deep dive. Make sure you check them out. Address is in the show notes.
Yes.
Until next time,
Happy travel.
happy travels.
Enjoy Bangkok.
Enjoy Bangkok.